Hello guys, British Fox here. Today another video, I zoomed in a bit there. But as you can see, this is definitely isn't cards. I am planning to do a cards video today too. I've just wanted to try and get content out while I can. So, this is, as the title describes, a very British civil war. I am honestly not sure what accent I did there. But anyway, we are going to be playing as the Birmingham Commune. As I find it interesting with the unifying of the communes later on, which eventually form one mega one, which this actually used to be the Midlands Commune in the past update if I recall. So I will get to the lore of this in a second, but to go forward now and see what we get. But as you can guess, England is in a civil war. Not only England, all of Britain. You know it's bad when it's like that. Now, once we load in, I shall describe what happens lore-wise, as a pop-up should happen, and then we'll go through that. So, essentially it's to do with the lack of abdication with, was it Edward? Yeah, Edward the 8th. There. Okay, so, a crisis has befallen the British Isles, and the country stands at the brink of bloody ruin. It began in the final weeks of 1936, when Prime Minister Baldwin, citing widespread opposition from Parliament, the public, and the Church, informed King Edward VIII that neither he nor his cabinet could condone the King's marriage to American socialite and divorcee Wallis Simpson, presenting the King with an ultimatum. Baldwin threatened to resign his position unless the King renounced either his affection for Mrs. Simpson or the crown. King Edward, calling the Prime Minister's bluff, summoned Baldwin to the palace and told him in no uncertain terms he would abandon neither the woman he loved nor his birthright. True to his word, the Prime Minister immediately offered his resignation, swiftly followed by the rest of the cabinet. Attempts to come to an agreement with the remaining MPs came to nothing, effectively leaving the country without a government. Finally, the King turned to his personal friend, Oswald Mosley, invited him to the palace, and exercised his sovereign authority to appoint Mosley the next Prime Minister. And now, blimey, what happened next? The appointment of Mosley, already notorious for his extreme views, not currently a member of Parliament, caused widespread outrage. A staged walkout at MPs and peers alike saw Parliament in Westminster reduced to little more than rump assemblies of monarchists and Mosleyites, with the absentee MPs and peers set up a parliament in exile in York. Mosley's appointment proved equally unpopular with the population at large, sparking protests across the country. Clashes between right-wing and socialist organisations escalated into widespread violence over Christmas and the New Year, and many forces struggled to keep the peace. Violence continued into the spring, amidst calls for the army to be called in to keep order. Unwilling to deploy troops against his own people, the king instead authorised the raising of auxiliary constabularies, forming largely of pro-Mosley folks. The auxiliaries began to take a very heavy-handed approach, and soon came to be seen as not as keepers of peace, but as enforcers of the king's personal rule, which only served to further galvanise his opponents. Despite this, it was announced that his coronation in May would go ahead as planned. Troubling times indeed. Do carry on. On the day of the coronation, crowds lined the King's route from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. Security was very tight, with the King's travelling in a close car. Ugh! My god, my mouth and I'm adding extra words here, but it could have been very close to make sure you're safe. And exhausted both by the Guards regiments escorted, and by the members of the Metropolitan Auxiliary Constabulary. However, as the royal procession entered Parliament Square, shots rang out, narrowly missing the King's car, which immediately sped off along Whitehall. Almost immediately, the auxiliaries opened fire into the assembled crowd, believing the would-be assassin to be among them. In response, the guards began firing on the auxiliaries, with the ensuing exchange of fire lasting for 15 minutes before senior officers managed to restrain their men. Visibly shaken as he took refuge at 10 Downing Street, Edward called on Mosley to immediately impose martial law on the capital, granting him a free hand to increase the powers of the auxiliaries. The king then fled London that night to take up residence with Mrs. Simpson at Worcestershire country estate. Country, where they were soon quietly married. The following week saw widespread accusations and recriminations over the attempt on the king's life, culminating in the disbanding of the guard regiments. The soldiers, once loyal servants of the crown, were sent home, deeply resentful of having their honour be so besmirched. Good lord, then what? As spring turned into summer, unrest continued to grow. The imposition of martial law further increased the resolve of the king's opponents. Many left-wing and anti-monarchist groups across Britain began to organise themselves into armed militias. Realising that even the auxiliaries couldn't hope to maintain order in such a climate, the king finally agreed to deploy the army on the provision that regiments would only serve in their home counties. Across the empire, meanwhile, the crisis had far-reaching consequences. The governments of Australia and New Zealand both fell as they struggled to maintain order, and the already fiercely nationalistic government of South Africa seized the opportunity to declare independence. In India, the viceroy was only able to maintain order by forced farms. British territories across the Middle East were beset by sporadic uprisings. Closer to home, Irish Taoiseach Lemon de Valera sent troops into Northern Ireland, ostensibly to help restore order, but ultimately to reclaim Ulster for the Republic. Only Canada remained unscathed, and offered refuge to the king's brothers and their families as he fled the increasingly hostile situation at home. A dire situation. Could it get any worse? Summer soon gave way to autumn, but the tension at home and abroad showed no signs of abating. The leaders of the Anglican Church, driven by Archbishop Lang's opposition to the king's marriage, declared Edward unfit to serve as head of the Church of England, nor indeed as king. The newly formed Anglican League quickly became a focal point for public opposition to the king, attracting thousands of members. Inspired by this example, the Scottish Kirk followed suit and convened a Council of State, declaring that Scotland no longer recognised the rule of Edward or of the London government. The Council established the Scottish Republic and closed the border with England. In Wales, a similar wave of nationalistic fervour bubbled to the surface, particularly in the rural north, when an independence movement was quickly established in the ancient capital of... Excuse me here, I tried to pronounce it off. Machynlleth? Please forgive me. Meanwhile, the industrial areas of South Wales, reflecting a pattern seen across the whole of Great Britain, saw the rapid growth of workers' militias, nucleating around local trade unions. In York, the Parliament in exile unanimously voted to appoint the king's brother, Prince Albert, as Lord Protector, and invited him to return from Canada to restore order. The United Kingdom was rapidly becoming anything but. Could this be the end? As winter began to draw in, sporadic violence continued across the country, and the various bands and militias began to crystallize into organized factions. Britain became an increasingly volatile powder keg until one morning in November, when a tiny spark in Cornwall quickly turned into a conflagration, which spread across the whole country. A Cornish nationalist group calling itself the Colonel Liberation Army had been making raids against royalist forces and bases in Cornwall, and even crossed the border into Devon, entering into direct conflict with the Devonshire Regiment of the Regular Army. When the KLA retreated back across the Tamar, the Devonshires pursued and found themselves under fire from the Duke of Cornwall's regiment, who were already deployed along the river and believed that Devonshires to be an invading force. The two regiments entered into a pitched battle, and the Devonshires eventually withdrew back across the border. However, the die was cast. As word spread, army regiments across the country realised they could no longer rely on direction from high command. They would have to choose their own side. Surely this means war. Now, town and country alike have been riven by open warfare, but no side has been able to make any serious territorial gains. With the worst of winter weather fast approaching, a Christmas truce has been called. Although uneasy, it has so far been honoured by all combatants. Much of the population is still hoping for an amicable solution, or at least, if there must be war, that the spirit of fair play will win out in the end. What say you? We shall honour the truce. And that's the law. I'm awfully sorry. I should have mentioned you could skip that, but that's the law. Now you get the idea of what's happening. So now, the Birmingham Commune, with the little known Republican flag, which is interesting, we're going to prepare for the struggle. We're going to set our factories, mainly to production, there, and then probably going to do that. Trade the Jacobites. What are we using these materials for? Check. Okay, we'll trade with these quickly. And then we're going to use our civvies to make more factories. Because we're planning to industrialize rather quickly here. Now, the majority of these regiments, we shall disband most of them. We need to find one of our large... Is this a steelwork? Okay, let's see. Templates. We want to keep our general workers regiments. So we're going to select all.
Alright, sir.
Put them under the general.
Alright, sir.
And the rest are unassigned. We shall disband. As we still have time, and we're going to start training. Using our trick. Okay, I was going to say we're going to promote you, but we'll wait in a second. Do Yankee Levy, put him under Field Marshal. Not able to promote him. We need more command power. Okay. Still got some free factories. Our orders should be coming in soon, and we may start our research. So we're going to research improved infantry equipment, better machine guns. We're going to research dispersed industry. We're going to research improved machine tools, and that's our research done for now. We're going to put it on 5-speed, and we shall now get to seeing the power keg of Britain. Okay, still doing decent on our import and exports. The struggle has now been completed. I think our best goal first would be to go for political alignment. This political power is quite vital early on, especially if you want to get, for example, straight to partial mob, which will be helpful getting more factories out, as a civilian economy is not going to help wars. Okay, we've been successful there. A communist commune shall be our goal, which is a mouthful. We do plan to follow the Moscow line, institutional atheism, political homicides, stamp out the church, and the national position. This way we can get to our goals. Down here, now we are going to quickly get a military theorist. That way we can actually get more XP, as that will be helpful. Now a communist commune has been done. For Tom Man, with no portrait sadly yet. Awfully sorry if there was a stutter there. The game did stop for a second, but back now. Now, getting our points, and we should actually be able to promote that general. Yep, okay. Well, Field Marshal now. So our goal is still to go for a communist to form a commune and to fully unite, would still be fitting, Britain under one banner, a socialist banner. So we are going to go for a unitary commune, deal with the regions, crush the independents. So we are trying to go for deal with the regions as quickly as possible. That way we can quickly annex these areas and bolster our numbers. So artillery, doing good. hope to get more factories soon enough, which we will. We're doing kind of decent on factory making, but of course we shall benefit from getting our research complete, which we've done now. Do construction, follow that up by going for mechanical computing, follow that up by going for irregular warfare. That way we can really fight or do some damage against the royalists if they do try to make our land. I believe they will be our first enemy, which is kind of scary, honestly, as they are one of the strongest factions early on, and the communes are not united, which makes things harder. Okay, they're already going for the... Okay, so Yorks are going against Scottish Republic, which they tend to succeed. Jack might take a literal Checo bite out of them too. Ooh, okay. But once our time has come, we shall strike. Now that we've got that sorted, we are going to go for Birmingham small arms. That way our warfare with our infantry, which is going to be our main base of our army, will be better. And we've nearly got political commissars. But now we're going to stamp out the church, which will take a bit of a bite of our stability, sadly, but it's worth it in the end. Sadly, there isn't much decisions to boost stability in the end. We've got loads of equipment though, which shall be helpful. And I do want to eventually change it so these militias here are fully infantry based, so we can effectively strike back. As many of these armies are militia based, which means if you have a proper army, you can break through the lines in the end and hold the lines easily. So we go to the national position now, because our internal affairs are sorted. And our goal eventually will be to unify England, first the Midlands. Once we do the Midlands, we shall go for England, then Great Britain, and the United Kingdom. The unitary commune is our goal, and hopefully some are not picking to leave their time. I don't think they've had time yet. Ooh. Okay, I think we're doing good here with rushing that decision. Now, also again, kinda sorry about how long that law part took, but I wanted to engage you in the world of a very British Civil War, as it's not your typical HOI4 game in a sense, because, you know, everyone knows World War II. Wait, okay, I thought it said I could hide George Orwell, and I was like, he definitely wasn't communist. So we're gonna go H.G. Wells. Is that the same H.G. Wells as the time machine? To boost our stability, that way we will take less of a blow from our decisions earlier, and now we shall deal with the regions. And then crush the independents. I think that many of these are actually choose to join us. Yeah, okay. So we got to hope that they choose that. As I remember last time on my own personal playthrough, that Manchester declared independence from the group and didn't decide to join. It's a pain to unify these lines, but it was also helpful too. Now, I'm going to deal with the regions, grow a bit. Okay, that's a lot of noises there.
Aye, sir.
We do not need that video at all. I'm going to delete these. Why are these in circles? Where are the majority of these units then? So, I see 12 here. So this is 47. I do not want to get only 4. Okay, let's see. Can I expand these? No. They still count as circles. Well, there's no way to get back to my... It's 80%. There's no easy way to go. Actually, can we ask for permission to go through one of these? No. And you're not going to allow me at all, aren't you? No. Because you hate me. Understandable. Because you want to... Well, they claimed our territory. And I guess they claimed ours. So it's basically just pointing fingers at both. Well, I do believe it's still worth to expand these units. That way, it's 20% of that strength. Now we're going to go for Crush the Independence. We're going to go for Advanced Machine Tools. And now we've got more factories, which is a blessing. Add more artillery, and then we're going to add a basic MG line. Then we'll get one producing light tanks. Actually, motorized would be better for support. Okay, so that's going to be our factory lines for now. We are going to be producing convoys. And we should have stabilized on supplies at least. So, you're no longer needed. And you're just about needed. Okay, so we can actually take them out, but most of the time they join. We'll keep in mind that. Okay, so our goal probably shall be pumping these out. First, we need probably... We're going to get this to 10 width at least. At 20 width, I mean. Costs 10 XP to do so. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go start training these. So we can still produce quite a bit, considering all the rifles. So, okay, we're going to need to take away some then. Okay, which would be a good number, like 48. The 47 would be the best one overall. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a 1 time, and we're going to set the location for Birmingham. And we are going to do more research. So, local knowledge around like guerrilla warfare will be helpful. Best to keep our supplies. And we do actually still need to go for partial mobilization. I nearly completely forgot about that. That would have been a fun move, maybe. But soon we'll tap into more factories and... There we go, okay. Let's see, how much factories we've got now? Yeah, okay, that's good. The Parliament question. Well, we don't want to go there yet. We want to go for... Probably... mobilize the people. As we do want a bit of an army. Now we've got our next level of dispersed industry. Go for commuting machine. And then we're going to go down dispersed 3. Okay, we're mobilizing the people, which grants more recruitable population and more war support. Yeah, okay, doing good. These are training up quite well. We've still got 11.5k, so that's decent. Commandeered arms, there's quite a lot of it. Now we're mobilizing the people, we shall do a weapons donation. That way we get more rifles and we could do BSA research and then take over the BSA on the other side of the tree. The focus tree, that is. Now the main drawback of this is forges and foundries, but of course it's quite helpful for the output of your factories. Now we could also do border clashes, which may allow me some quick lands, but in the end, I do want to go for strength here. So you're going communist. You've went Labour likely. I think you went communist. That's me. Yeah, I went communist. And another communist one. So they're probably going to join me. He may go for militarized unions now, because I actually consider that to be better at the moment. That way we get some troops, which we can then employ. We're going to go for Jack Jones, for infantry. As said, infantry shall be the majority of our army. And just before these get deployed, we shall quickly replace most of these. And then we'll add machine gun companies soon. How close are we adding? How much days we got? Like 15? Race against time here. We just about. Okay. MGs it is. And boom. Okay.
Alright.
Now these militias are still going to be helpful. We're going to put them under separate commander. Harold here. That'd be a good one. Actually, we're going to do a new commander in general. Archibald Churchill. He's going to be our little militia leader. And we'll just put you on the border over here for now. As I don't want any Anglicans considering taking me out. We're going to enlist Spanish Civil War veterans. That way we get more manpower. Power. And a bit French there. Kind of ironic with the whole username.
Alright,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so we're doing good here. Still getting points, but because of these bets, we're not getting as much now. Actually, what's your template? I think that was the rest of the army. Yes, it was. Okay, so here, split here. Give to this army here, and then we're gonna get you a good commander. One of the good commanders we have is Fred, but I think Jack Jones will do better overall. Put you both under him. And then we're going to go for construction 3, and we are in a bit of a deficit for rifles. First we'll see our answers then. Soviet advisors, that way we get more division org and out of supply, so be able to stay to the defensive. Okay, so we can do the border pretty well. And we've got entrenchment. It seems to do kind of okay. We probably won't be able to go on the offensive with these, but we probably can stick to the defensive. Okay, yeah. Now it's just if these communes join us, which hopefully they will. As we really need them. Now we can actually look to the more military side of things, like improving the MGs. And eventually again, better rifles. So the advisors is now done. And now we're going to go for local tactics. That way, now that we've partially gone down the tree for research on... Where's research? It does research. We can go a quick homeland defense, which allows for better entrenchment, elastic defense, and better recovery rate, which will be really helpful against certain monarchist factions. I'm not going to name names here, but yeah. Now we are going to go for more research, and we're going to go for the rifles now. And we are going to add a political advisor, a captain of industry maybe maybe backroom backstabber. Get more political power. We don't really need it at this point, kind of. We just need quick entrenchment, that's for sure. I was planning to go on a defensive. Gonna go industrial organisation. Actually, a people's army is quite good. Okay, we're gonna rush down for the people's army then. Okay, you're going quirk soldiers. You're probably going New Jerusalem, yeah. You go egalitarian, religious tolerance, and hopefully recognise the Midlands Commune. You've done the majority of your focuses. You're probably going to go stamp out the church. And we're checking you out. Okay, majority of yours. You went socialist there, yeah. And the Yorkist front declared war on the Jacobites. Ooh. Try and take both at once? I mean, they're doing pretty well. Okay, we have a bit of a scary Yorkist front, which they tend to ally with the Anglican League, so... Ooh, this could be scary. Because they already hate each other, so not going to work together at all. Yeah, okay. Vehicle improvisation. That'll be helpful. BSA research, BSA. Oh. Mouthful at times. Let's see how much spare rifles we got. We got quite a bit. Okay. Well, our priority is getting more troops out then. Destroy these two. And we have 24 for another general. Let's go for Leicestershire. And we've actually completed our first batch of extra factories. So we're going to go one in each area here. And we're going to leave the rest. We want to really focus on the Midlands here, as that's what we can defend. Running out of plates because they... not plates. Aluminium. Aluminum. Aluminium. Aluminium. Okay, trade with the Volscian. I'll probably pronounce both versions there. I hope the Brits don't hate me, but I also hope the Americans like me. Win and loss. Yeah, so we still got decent ways for that. So our next goal shall be improved computing machine and the replacement of our old MGs. PSA research has been done. And now we're going to go armored car research. And now we are going to go for... Ooh, I think... concealment might be decent if we can't get air superiority. For now we'll add... Bill Alexander. Again, we're going for all-out defensive. We cannot risk losing at first. We need to whittle them down. And we're really good on core territory, which actually if we call it British Isles counts as our cores. Hoping that some of these divisions will start ramming against our own. And we need to get to rifle production. So hopefully by dismantling and disarming the rest of the groups, such as the Sheffield communes, and okay, so you're probably all going for national position now. Yeah, all going for national position. We shall see which ones stay with us and which ones reject us. Do you have extended focuses? Do. Improve these. It's going to take a while to produce back that difference, but we shall. And we're going to get the buff for them. And we are going to go for limited conscription, just to guarantee more manpower. got quite a bit of training here, and actually,
Alright.
which focuses are they up to? Okay, I don't think they've made their choice out of these two. I'm actually not so sure what they went for. That's a neat ability tell giants. That's very specific but neat. Now, actually, I may call for today's video on this, as we've got a good 30 minutes in, and we've got some good progress. We've converted to communism, we've got decent divisions on the defense, which can really go defensive. We've got more on the way, and we can defend our homeland, at least part of our homeland, as you can see, everyone doesn't like each other, to put it simply. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and to like, comment, subscribe for more content, especially kind of one-off content. I plan to do more content on this playthrough, as I do love HOI4 just as much as I love cards, so it'd be nice to play this a bit more on the channel, especially with the interesting mods it has. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe as said. Most importantly, have fun. Bye for now, and hope you want to watch more.